This person feels like they would follow you anywhere, down any road, down any path. And with this energy of fly with the dreamer, this is somebody that is really invested in the dream, the wish of something more developing between the two of you, being something that is actually attainable and therefore worth efforts that are above and beyond what they may ordinarily kind of invest in connections that are at the stage you're at with one another. Because something that has happened recently has convinced them that you are not just like a once in a lifetime person, like a once in a lifetime opportunity, but that you are someone beyond just kind of the romantic potential between the two of you. You are somebody that, kind of makes the world a better place just by your presence, or that you're headed in a very positive and beautiful direction with your life in general, which is really inspiring this person to sort of look within, evaluate priorities or the things that have taken precedence up to this point in time, maybe even fears that have been holding themselves back, from being more authentic, chasing their own dreams, kind of thinking bigger, thinking outside of the box than what they had kind of allowed themselves to do or what they thought was possible. And all of that is the byproduct of just a little bit of time spent in your presence, and how that has had a very positive effect upon this person. The love that you have shown them, the care and affection and attention, it is something that has definitely kind of changed their perspective of what give and take within partnership can look like. Even if it's early stages of your connection or like talking stage at this particular point in time, there is a level of allowance and yet an insistence that kind of like space be held for the two of you. But you're doing a very excellent job at kind of pushing the connection forward. Maybe even through your insistence that this person show up in a certain kind of way. And if they're not, you're very quick to kind of regroup, redirect your focus, which is teaching this person in a way that really cushions their ego how to approach the potential of love and romance with someone like you, who very clearly won't settle for crumbs as far as romance is concerned and in other ways in your life in general. So again, this person feels it like you're very trustworthy. They trust you to kind of lead the two of you forth at this particular stage in the journey, to kind of let them know what it is that you want, what you desire, what you're looking for, and the ways in which you've already done that. Maybe even just like telling this person a bit about yourself that is allowing them to kind of sit and think and sort of figure out ways in which they can respond to those aspects of yourself that you've shared with them. This is something that it feels like is helping this person to really see you as someone that is, again, like leading them in a direction where you're not being like pushy or insistent, like it's my way or the highway, but it's something that you're giving this person an invitation to sort of a higher experience of love and partnership. They may not have ever been with anyone that is as clear and direct as you are. They may have been with people that were kind of like a little bit shy, or, sort of like use their words just to sort of placate, people please, didn't really sort of express the true desires within themselves, just kind of did whatever to sort of chase a person or keep a person, jumping through whatever kind of like hoops in order to stay relevant, as like a potential partner or within the dating phase. And unlike this person's experience with people like that in the past, you are somebody who is very refreshing. You're different. You don't have to prove your worth to this person. You're very much in this sort of like take it or leave it. This is who I am. This is the direction that I'm headed at in this particular stage in my life. And if we've got this connection, I trust that, you'll do what you need to do in order to keep pace with me, in order to, keep evolving with me beyond just kind of the introductory phases. And that's something which has allowed this person to really exercise free will in a very refreshing way. They choose to proceed forward with you. They choose to put their trust in you as far as like, okay, what is the direction that this connection is headed in now? Whether this is kind of like an emphasis on more up close and personal time, or, more of like an emotional expression, if it's like a period of silence or stillness maybe that you require because you got things going on in their life or in your life, or they need because they got things going on in their their life, and they've communicated that to you in a certain kind of way, you know, directly or indirectly, and you're kind of adjusting accordingly. All of that, that kind of full picture, is something that is really reassuring this person that this is a connection which is very real, and it has the capability of turning into something deep, meaningful, and lasting because of that. We also have embrace self-compassion. So this person loves the way that you don't wait for someone to kind of like, you know, provide you all like the finer things in life. And that doesn't have to mean like materially speaking. This is something where it's like, it's very clear that you pour into your own cup rather than sort of waiting around with your hands open, waiting for another person to come along and sort of like validate you, build you up, or, you know, you don't base your self-worth on like acceptance from other people, or you know, how a potential romantic partner is showing up. You're somebody who is very self-sustaining. You got a lot going on in your own life that it feels like provides this person with a lot of reassurance, that they are kind of like free to continue to invest in, and show up fully to other areas of their life that are meaningful or that require a lot of their attention. They could have dealt with partners in the past that were very codependent, very needy, you know, were kind of very clingy, were very just like, I need constant contact. If you're not texting every 5 minutes, I'm getting all worried, you know, we're like overly jealous, you know, overly suspicious. And that feels like something that prior to meeting you, this person has been very determined not to repeat that cycle with anyone else. And so you've come into their life and they are able to breathe a deep sigh of relief because, you know, as much as you might like personal time with them, you might enjoy long conversations, you know, the experiences where you're spending time with one another. If you're needing to kind of pull back a little bit, or they're needing to pull back a little bit, it's like the whole connection doesn't fall apart. You're not punishing this person later for, you know, times where they can't be like energetically or actually present or as focused, you know, in an extended amount of time, or even just in the moment, that this is something that there's a lot of allowance on your part for that, and not just kind of like, oh, here's a doormat who's going to let me do whatever and just walk all over them. It's the kind of thing where you seem to kind of get that there has to be this healthy balance between maintaining sort of the personal life of oneself and building that kind of like co-creative partnership with another. So this person feels very like free to continue to invest in the things that they've had going on in their life prior to your arrival. This is somebody who feels very assured at this point in time that they're not going to like lose themselves in this connection, or other areas of their life are not going to suffer having to kind of like provide reassurances that they're still interested, they're still present, you know, there's still progress going forward, even if at times it is slow, or if you're like the one having to take the lead, that's not something that kind of like touches any nerves of insecurity within you, which it feels like is, again, helping this person to like relax into the moment with you. We also have cherish the small things. So little things about this person that you've like actively listened to, you've remembered, you've taken note of, and you've like responded to that in some kind of way. You know, their favorite things, their likes and dislikes, and it's like you've done special things that is in kind of recognition of that. It's like you're taking note of who they are as a person, things that other people might overlook or other people wouldn't like remember. It's something that, you know, you do remember that, you do acknowledge that, you do see that, you witness that. And this is something that helps this person feel like to continue to get to know you, to continue to build a connection with you. It doesn't just serve like the surface level self. It's not just something that it's like, okay, when I'm showing up and saying and doing all the right things, then it works out between us. It's like you're taking the time to really like understand who this person is on a deeper level, and it's helping them to feel very like held by you in this moment, you know, not just kind of like who they are on the good days, or when there's that like performative self that's putting the best foot forward, but like who they are beneath the surface, the little quirks about them, you know, the little aspects of their personality, things that may have even kind of like come to the surface without them meaning them to, and you have kind of adjusted accordingly. Either it's something where maybe you've like given this person a gift that is relevant to some sort of interest of theirs, you know, or you've started to kind of like bring things into the conversation, you know, you've shared things with them, like things that you found online, online, music, articles, posts, things like that, that are very like particular to what this person's interested in, or certain perspectives that they've like shared with you, that it feels like has helped them to be really recognized and acknowledged, not just as somebody that is like there to sort of fill a space in your life or validate you in some sort of way, kind of like fill you up emotionally, but they see you as a very like conscientious, a very caring person. When you get to know someone, you take the time to really get to know them, and so this is something that it kind of like has this person excited about, sort of like, okay, what could that be like to be in a relationship with somebody that it's not just like the surface level version of me, and we can only get in so close with one another, but we're entering into that like deep territory where even fears and insecurities, as those things surface, can have a place of recognition. We also have get your brave on. So it feels like this person is working up the courage, to surprise you with some sort of conversation, a gesture of love, a token of affection, something that lets you know that they really enjoy this experience with you where it is at this particular point in time, and they're looking forward to the future with hope and optimism. This is somebody that doesn't just want to kind of dwell in the connection where it is right now. If you've been the one that has been kind of like the teaching part of this partnership, sort of like educating this person on kind of like who you are as a person, what you're looking for in a connection. You've been setting the tone and kind of the pace of things, or responding to, action steps on their part that, either had quickened the pace between the two of you or had slowed it down, and you've adjusted accordingly. This is somebody, it feels like, that is getting ready to kind of step up to the plate more than they have already, even just to acknowledge the appreciation of, they like the dynamic between the two of you. They like the give and take. They like the opportunity to just be like soft and receptive. Like you definitely cater to this person's like feminine side. Gender, regardless of gender, it's like a side of them that it feels like is often kind of overlooked in partnerships with other people, and yet you also honor that masculine polarity within them, that is decisive, that takes action steps forward. So this person feels like the full kind of balance and range of who they are as a person. There's the capacity in the experience with you for all of that to be celebrated, all of that to be seen, and so in some sort of way, this is somebody that wants to kind of acknowledge that, not just sort of like, hey, it feels really great in the moment, but something where they want to let you know, like, they really like where things are at this particular point in time with you, and they are thinking about kind of like the broader future, not just sort of like what's going to happen tomorrow or next week between the two of you, but they've reached a point with you where they're starting to kind of factor in more long-term plans, getting more serious, or even kind of like defining things between the two of you if it's sort of vague at this point. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.